Winds and flooding Lonnie just mentioned hit the coastal communities in New Jersey. Our cameras found streets filled with water several inches deep and people trying to navigate it all. Vanessa Murdoch is live tonight from Manasquan Inlet. Vanessa.
Well, it has been a wild day here at the Jersey Shore. Between the wind, which you're seeing is still proving to give us some difficulty, the waves as well as the coastal flooding. It's been an interesting one. Now, what I would like to show you at this point in the game, notice the Manasquan Inlet. It is significantly calmer than it was at noon today. At noon, I was live here with the weather tracker, just as I am right now. The waves at this point are just kind of peacefully rolling over the boardwalk, but this afternoon, they were pelting me in the thigh as I stood here. So quite the transition. It is much calmer right now than it was this afternoon, but all the images we're about to share with you were shot around high tide, and that was the worst that we expect this storm to deliver. As waves pounded the shoreline and sand sailed across the boardwalk, we ran into locals braving the fierce, water-laden winds to ogle and immortalize the magnificence and strength of the storm.
The wind is whipping. That beach is in the water. Look at that. Yeah, it's intense.
This broiling surf, more than John Paradise expected to witness.
I love the storms.
Sue McFarland's right-hand lady, Callie, not so much.
She's scared of this wind, rain.
Sue says she sends pictures of what's unfolding in her hometown to family in North Jersey.
And nobody can believe it, you know. But
it's such a different experience at the coast versus inland. Right?
Oh, yeah, there's nothing up there.
At the inlet, waves crashed against the bulkhead and water rushed over the street at its worst, while a kayaker up to who knows what sat idle in the rough water, a sight hard to miss.
Look at that guy, he's kayaking like in the wave. There's going to be a big wave and then he's going to get kicked out.
Thankfully, that did not happen, but this did. Roads filled with water 2 feet deep. High tide, no contest for the First Alert weather tracker. More troublesome for those on two wheels, but still manageable. For porta potties, moderate coastal flooding meant game over. And in the visual, a reminder of why it's always safest to stick to dry land. 1:30 Monday afternoon marked the worst of what Manasquan faced. That's when flooding reached its peak, reached the bumper of the sedan, but thankfully fell short of seeping into homes. As we bring you back out live to this lovely evening in Manasquan, New Jersey, I want to take note of the other visual that you're seeing on your screen right now. That's from our First Alert weather tracker, which is parked just behind us here, giving you a larger, wider view of what we're experiencing. Now, as we stand here again along the Manasquan Inlet, please note that we do have a coastal flood warning in play until 8 p.m. tonight. But after that point in time, things should really start to calm down with regard to the coastal flooding through the overnight hours, maybe just some minor flooding, and the winds will eventually follow course. We're live tonight in Manasquan, New Jersey. Vanessa Murdoch, CBS News, New York.
Active day for sure there today, Vanessa. Thank you. Let's go to Long Island now. That area also lashed by wind and rain today. Fast-moving currents were seen under those steel gray skies. And then elsewhere, trees were toppled. Jennifer McLogan joins us now live from Babylon with more on how Long Islanders got through this storm. Jennifer.
Good evening. Shifting winds are lessening here, too. We're getting overnight bouts all afternoon, on again, off again bouts of this rain. And the 4 p.m. high tide behind me means coastal street flooding, not to mention widespread inconvenience for those who live and work here on Suffolk County's South Shore. Some drivers did not heed advice, taking risky chances through dangerous floodwaters in Babylon and Bayshore. Concerned South Shore residents checking on their boats and homes.
We prepared with some sandbags against our front door. We moved the car. The boat's down the slip there and it's tied up well.
Donna Dragani thinks it's helpful the wind shifted to the northeast. Islip Town workers cleared 5 threatened storm drains and closed roads. It was touch and go at the marina. Cars stalled in restaurant parking lots.
We're playing it hour by hour, close for lunch and try to open for dinner.
Fire Island ferry service closed for the day. Excavators arrived to assist.
We got work to do, and I think that's the main important thing.
Angie Carpenter is Islip Town supervisor.
When the wind really kicks up, it brings the water up over the bulkhead and causes the flooding. I mean, we did a lot of prep work.
Sharing umbrellas, the Presti family did their best to tackle tackle the elements.
It's helping because I want to get wet. It's really gusty and rainy and not nice.
A nor'easter on a day with no school.
They're going to go home and have some play dates.
They drove from Islip to Babylon to Glenn's Dinette for a family meal, one of the few spots open here on the South Shore due to weather woes. Holiday business started slowly.
But now it's picked up. I think people get a little tired of being kept inside.
Streets are being monitored, homes along the canal braced for the high tide, vulnerable areas experiencing 3 feet inundation.
You don't want your cars to be driving through salt water, and if you really live in some of the lower lying areas south of where we're standing, it'll get to your door.
Power outages have fluctuated from a high of about 5,500 to about 1,500 right now. PSEG Long Island is out and about working on power lines and trees, and at this hour the LIRR reports service delays. We're live this evening, Babylon, Long Island along Shore Road. I'm Jennifer McLogan, CBS News, New York.
All right, Jennifer, thank you. To Queens now, where 2 buses collided during the morning commute, injuring at least 19 people. It's still unclear if the accident was weather-related. Surveillance video shows the moment a Q27 bus rear-ended another bus in Flushing. It happened just before 8:30 this morning near Sanford Avenue and Boone Street. According to police, 1 driver and 16 passengers were hospitalized with minor injuries. 2 others were treated on scene.
Lonnie mentioned those airport delays, so let's get the latest on those. Right now, wind causing nearly 4-hour delays at LaGuardia Airport. JFK reporting over 2-hour delays, and then over at Newark, it's running about 90 minutes. And then there's the power problems. PSE&G New Jersey reporting just under 370 customers without power. JCP&L has just under 1,800, and then Con Ed reporting close to 1,300. PSEG Long Island close to 1,600 customers without power. And lastly but not least, Orange and Rockland reporting 377 customers.
Today's Columbus Day parade was canceled after Governor Hochul declared a state of emergency last night. Organizers for the 81st annual parade made the call overnight, saying they were prioritizing the safety of all who attend. The parade will not be rescheduled this year. And stay with us for continuing coverage on the nor'easter. We'll have updates from Lonnie throughout the show. And for a live look at the radar anytime, head over to cbsnewyork.com.
High tide brought street flooding in Freeport.
But recent upgrades are being credited with keeping the situation from getting even worse. Long Island reporter Carolyn Gussoff explains.
It was the afternoon high tide that was most concerning to Freeport Village officials. And just as expected, these low-lying Freeport streets started filling up with floodwaters starting at around 2 o'clock. And after that, it began receding. But there are much fewer trouble spots thanks to new underground pumps. As the afternoon tide came in, Freeport streets filled again with overflowing storm drains and bay waters, leaving some nautical-mile restaurants surrounded. While on residential streets, it was the familiar task of moving cars to higher ground.
I wasn't going to move the car, but my husband said just move it. Yes, because I don't want to have that feeling. It's horrible when you lose the cars and there's stuff in the house.
And you lost your house in Sandy.
Yeah.
My car is all those 3 on the driveway.
You pushed it closer to the house.
Yeah, close to the point, but they only can come into the halfway driveway.
The Vitas family doesn't stress anymore when water crests over their backyard bulkhead. They know the drill.
Everybody's been here over 50 years. They're used to it.
But still, Freeport Village officials readied 3 high-water Army vehicles and praised the effectiveness of catch basins below village roads, which pump water from the streets back out to the bay.
It has really been 100% effective. It's a series of pumps with check valves that prevent the bay from coming back in to flood the streets, and it also pumps out the water that rains would accumulate in the street.
Mayor Robert Kennedy says more are coming to the nautical mile thanks to a New York State grant.
If we can reduce the nuisance flooding, save people's vehicles and trucks and cars.
The village has been showing this technology to other Long Island municipalities. Village officials say it appears that the only impact has been flooding in streets and no structural damage. Reporting from Freeport, Long Island, Carolyn Gussoff, CBS News, New York.
And our First Alert weather team will continue monitoring the storm and its impacts in our area. Don't forget, you can check our live radar and forecast anytime on cbsnewyork.com and on the CBS News app.